About a week and a half ago, I did a road trip to visit my grandchildren. They're in a couple different places, and on the way back, I was on Highway 5, which is a long road from the bottom of California to Oregon, and it might even go into Oregon. I don't know, I didn't look that far, but the halfway point from where I was leaving to and where I was going was Coalinga, which is in the middle of nowhere on Highway 5. And it's known for this place named Harris Ranch, and they have a huge restaurant there and a gift store, and it's a hotel. It's kind of like an oasis. It's just very, very nice, and it's just kind of a nice place to stop after we're driving for a while. I'd been on the road about, I'd say 4.5 hours at that point. So I went in there, was looking at the different options for lunch, and I saw this roasted vegetable salad, so I had it, and it was amazing. So I'm going to replicate some of those veggies right now, and substitute some of the ones I have, and I'm just going to do a roasted veggie-a-thon. Small cast iron griddle. I do have a bigger one, but it won't fit in the toaster oven I'm using as an oven right now in my life. So I'm going to be pulling things in and out. The only thing that will not be on the cast iron griddle will be these tomatoes, because they are kind of acidic, and they do kind of turn liquidy, and I don't want them influencing the flavor of the other vegetables. I've got broccoli here. I'm sorry, not broccoli, Brussels sprouts. I did cook them ahead of time. I boiled them for a little while to soften them up. I've got some asparagus and a portobello mushroom. Into that, I also put some of these garlic cloves. So they're already out of the whole clove there. They're just separated and peeled. And of course the tomatoes. So I'm going to get started. All right, my first order of business is going to be putting in the portobello mushrooms, the garlic cloves, and the asparagus. I put in a splash or two of this Dollar Tree olive oil. It's not the greatest olive oil for salads or whatever, but for roasting or something, it'll be just fine. So I'm going to do that, mix this up, make sure that the vegetables are coated. I've already preheated the oven to 425. I'm going to put these onto that cast iron griddle. And the reason I'm using this also is I have found, let me get this out of the way, I have found that when there's nothing on the sides, like you're a cookie sheet or something like this, everything grills better and faster than if it's in a cake pan or something that has sides. I guess the heat can get to it better. So I'm going to put these in my preheat oven and start the process. Okay, with the tomatoes, I'm going to do the same thing with the olive oil. I'm going to throw some olive oil in. And a couple of splashes. Make sure it coats all the olive oil, all the tomatoes. I'm going to put in, I mean, this is very much up to you, but I'm going to put in a couple of shakes of Italian seasoning, maybe 3 or 4 shakes. This is Dollar Tree Italian seasoning, and I have some of the squeezable garlic from Grocery Outlet, and I'm just going to squeeze some right in there. My plan for this, quite a bit came out, but can you really have too much garlic? I'm going to go ahead and coat that. My plan for this is once they've been cooked, I'll probably use them over pasta or something like that, or as a side dish for something. Roasted tomatoes are really good, especially if they are seasoned. I'm also going to add some salt, a couple of shakes, and continue just moving these around. And since I'm going to be cooking them separately from the rest of the veggies, I'm just going to throw them in this cast iron frying pan. Put whatever's left of the olive oil in there, separate them. These are fairly big chunks. I just kind of cut them into 3 or 4 pieces. The two, I think it's 1 or 2 Romas I have here. It doesn't have to be paper thin. Here's what it looks like, and that's going in the oven too. Finally, my Brussels sprouts. I like these with olive oil also. Let me pour some in there. I like them with garlic and salt roasted. So I've also sauteed them in the frying pan. It comes out equally as well. There you go. Put another big squeeze of garlic in there. Get another one. There you go. I have 2. don't know if you can see them, 2 big squeezes of garlic. And I'm just going to go mix that all up. Make sure the garlic is evenly distributed. And I'm going to put some salt on there. And since I've run out of room in my little tiny oven right now, I'm just going to set these aside until one of my pans frees up. All right, so some of it's done already. I took the portobello mushrooms out. It's a little hard to see here. I took the portobello mushrooms out after about 7 minutes because they were already soft and good, and those are going to be delicious. I really like them. I just pulled out the asparagus and the garlic. The asparagus is nice and crisp without being limp, and my garlic got nice and brown. Again, you can take this garlic out at any point. I like it kind of crispy. It's soft inside, and I can throw this into, in this format, I can throw this into a salad or into some mixed vegetables, and it will be just so tasty. Here are my Brussels sprouts. I'm about to put them in the oven. I put them all like face down or cut side down, and I'm not quite sure how long they're going to take, but as I said, I kind of cooked them already ahead of time, so they're halfway there. Tomatoes are still cooking. They're still in the cast iron pan, and when they're ready, and I'll take them out. Here are the Brussels sprouts. As you can see, they got nicely browned and crisped. They are just delicious. Better view. I think I showed you earlier, but it wasn't real clear. The asparagus and the garlic. This asparagus was that tiny little asparagus. It's like almost, I don't know, like a toothpick size, but they come out really nice and crispy. And I've eaten several of the pieces of portobello mushroom already, but it's also delicious. What I'm going to do, I think, is mix up some of these, all of them, the asparagus, the mushroom, and the Brussels sprouts, and kind of have a nice little dinner here. Now I'm going to put my gloves on to show you the tomatoes, because that I just pulled out of the oven. Also came out great. As you can see, kind of nicely charred there. They smell really good. So I think my evening's experiment went quite well. And I'm looking forward to having some delicious dinner tonight and tomorrow based on what I just cooked. Roasting all these vegetables took me about I'd say an hour or so. The tomatoes took the longest. They were in the oven the entire time. I guarantee it'll take you less time to roast them in your own oven, because chances are you have a regular oven and you're not roasting them in a toaster oven like I am. Though I am grateful for my toaster oven. They came out just great. I think this would be a great winter thing to serve, or a Thanksgiving side dish. There's so many great root vegetables and other sorts of vegetables available this time of year, so this is really a tasty thing. Anyway, it's cold outside, and the roasting of the vegetables warmed up the kitchen beautifully, and I appreciate you being here with me this evening. Thank you for watching.